What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Planetary Reviews, and I am here to continue my MCU movie reviews, and I'm up to Iron Man 2. This one, a lot of people feel like it wasn't that great. A lot of people don't like Iron Man 2. Me, I think it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. I didn't find it was terrible. I like watching. I could sit there and enjoy, but it did have some flaws. But you know what? Let's get into detail about this. Let's talk about it. The story of Iron Man 2 is that Tony Stark is currently dealing with all the fragments that are inside his chest with all the grenade shrapnel parts, and he has that fusion reactor inside him that will keep it from getting into his heart. But he's finding out that he has to replace that piece that's in here so often now just to keep him from dying. And he's trying to find a way to be able to live without having to keep on going, because the longer he tries to go without doing that, the closer he does get to dying. So we have to have him dealing with that, and he's getting depressed about that because he feels like he is going to die at some point. And it starts to affect his character in a very negative way. He starts to drink, he starts to get very reckless, he doesn't care, and you see his character get very humanized because you see that when he's feeling down, he really is making bad decisions. He's drinking, he's doing stupid parties in his apartment or house, and it's just really showing that him dealing with this problem is really affecting him. And the movie does a really good job at portraying just how much he is suffering with this arc reactor and everything that's inside there. So the story was very good. On the other hand, the villains of this movie, we have Mickey Rourke plays Ivan, and he finds out that Tony Stark is making money off of stuff that his father made and everything like that. And because I don't want to put any spoilers, I know this movie's a little bit older, but I like to do still spoiler-free reviews for people who might not have seen Iron Man 2. But Ivan wants revenge, and he's actually really smart. He creates these like electric whips that are able to really just do some damage to Tony, which has one of my favorite scenes in this movie where Ivan shows up at a racetrack where Tony is sitting there just racing and being reckless and crazy because he doesn't really care about his life at this point. And then you just see Ivan appear on the track, and he starts smashing everything, get into a quick fight, and you get to see the introduction of the suitcase Iron Man suit, which is really cool. That was a really awesome way to do a Iron Man costume, because he just literally has a suitcase, looks like the Iron Man costume, he puts it up in front of him, he goes like this, and it gets on. I'm like, that is a really sick design. That entire scene was really awesome. A lot of awesome fights that happened in this movie were very well done, just like in the first. All the action was still great with a deeper story with Tony Stark to try and humanize him. Also, I gotta say that Don Cheadle as War Machine, because he did replace Terrence Howard from the first one, Don Cheadle did a great job. I like how they kind of talk about it in this movie where he sees him and he's like, you look, we don't have to talk about it, this is what it is now, leave it alone. Very good way to talk about it, very good way to just kind of be like, yeah, we know we switched the actors, but you know what? It had to be done. I don't know the details as to why, but this is the way it is now. And Don Cheadle, awesome. I love him as War Machine. Very cool. Very, very impressive actor. I really enjoyed his performance in this one. And also, we had Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. This was so cool. When you see her start beating the shit out of all these guards and stuff, and you get to see just how much of a badass this chick is, it was really cool. And the way Scarlett Johansson portrays her like, not cockiness, but she's kind of cocky, but also tries to be a little modest and not be too noticeable because she's a spy, obviously. But she does a great performance. I love her as Black Widow. Great casting choice for this one. She was awesome. Seeing her in this movie was fantastic. Also, I gotta say, Mickey Rourke as Ivan was very good. He was very intimidating. He was very... You understood why he wanted to go after Tony Stark. You understood it all. It was a little cliche, but you know what? It was still cool, and he had a lot of smarts. He created a lot of cool stuff to try and fight Tony Stark. Where this movie falters a little bit more is Sam Rockwell's character as Justin Hammer. My God, I wanted this guy to get off screen every time. He was just the most annoying character in the world. He was just a rival businessman that sells weapons just like Tony Stark, and he wants to try and, get Tony Stark out of the equation. He wants to beat him, so he uses Ivan to sit there and go up against him. But every time he was on screen, I just wanted him to shut up. He was annoying and super cliche. He was the biggest pain in the ass. Every time he was on screen, he just made me not want to watch the scene. I was like, can we skip this? I don't care about you. All you're doing is acting like a little whiny baby. That's all he was. He was a baby, and it was annoying. I could not stand Justin Hammer. This movie should have just been with Ivan as the villain, and there you go. Have him build up from there. I understand why Justin Hammer had to get involved so that Ivan could get more technology and do some crazy stuff to Tony Stark and take him down. But God, why they have to make Justin Hammer so annoying? Really brings down the movie. Really does. But you know what? Even with all that, the action scenes are still really good, and the climax of this movie, not the climax, but the two big moments in this movie, in my opinion, were when Don Cheadle puts on the War Machine armor for the first time, and he fights Tony Stark in his house to try and get him to be like, yo, stop being a dumbass. Stop going crazy over this. You have to stop drinking. You have to stop being reckless. Stop it. And they get into this fight in his house, and it was really awesome just to see what Don Cheadle could do in that armor. Such a good fight. I loved it. And then, of course, you also have not only do we have the relationship with War Machine and Tony Stark increasing, we have the relationship between him and Pepper. Tony and Pepper's relationship in this movie really got to blossom a lot more, and it became just very nice to see on screen. I love the way these two had a very good chemistry. They were different, but sometimes opposites attract, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. She knows he's reckless. She knows he's a bit out there sometimes, but you know what? She still cares about him, and they did a really good job at making their relationship bloom and just come together at the very end. And also, the climax of this movie, the big battle at the end, was very cool to see War Machine and Tony Stark fighting together alongside to stop Ivan with all these drones that were coming after them. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that scene. But I have to admit, when they took down Ivan, the way they did it, it didn't feel as good as it did in the original when they took down the villain in that one. It was just, didn't have the same oomph. It didn't have the same, emotional connection. I don't know. There was just something missing. Maybe it's because it's the second one. It's hard for a sequel to have the same magic that the original has. And I guess that kind of is what happened here. It felt good to see him and Pepper get together and them win at the end, but it was just, it just felt a little lacking. It was a little lacking, and I think it was because of Justin Hammer, and because Ivan wasn't as developed as I would like. Maybe we should have spent more time with him instead of having Justin Hammer on screen, replace all those with Ivan, and maybe he would have been a better, more compelling villain in the end. But, you know what? At the end of the day, was this movie bad? No. Iron Man 2 is not a bad film. It was just a little bit more flawed than the original. It's very hard to capture magic in a bottle twice, guys. You gotta remember that they had such a great start. They had to be able to capitalize on that first movie, and it's difficult to do that. So you know what? At the end of the day, this movie still had great humor, great performances, some great action, a great story that really humanized Tony Stark even more, some great relationships that got developed with Tony and War Machine, and also Tony and Pepper. And we had a good villain, not perfect, but a good villain with Ivan. And I admit, Justin Hammer was kind of a necessity so that Ivan could do what he had to do, but he really did bog down the film. I did not like any part with Justin Hammer. Nothing against Sam Rockwell, but I did not enjoy any part with him in it. It was just his character. It was annoying. I did not enjoy it. But other than that, I gotta say, Iron Man 2, like I said, is not bad. At the end of the day, Iron Man 2 gets a solid B+ from me. Not as good as the original, but still a good watch. You could sit there, watch Iron Man 2, and have a good time. It just has some flaws. That's really it. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you guys are starting to enjoy my MCU reviews, because I'm liking going through all of them, trying to catch up, so that hopefully by the time, Thor Ragnarok comes out, I will be able to have all the MCU movies done, because I already have the DC movies done, so I want to get the MCU movies. I want to get started on my Star Wars reviews. I'm going to try and do it. I'm just trying to get into the MCU a little bit more before I start that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My next movie review is going to be Spider-Man Homecoming, and then my next game review is going to be Crash Bandicoot Trilogy Remastered. So I'm really excited to look at that, because I grew up playing Crash Bandicoot a lot. So I'm excited to play that game. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.